Have you ever wondered what would happen if the sun just vanished? No explosion, no warning, just gone in an instant. Sounds like something out of science fiction, right? But let's think about it. For 8 minutes everything would seem normal. Then, darkness, no sunrise, no warmth, just a world plunged into an eternal night. And that's only the beginning. Earth would break free from orbit, drifting into space. Temperatures would plummet, turning our planet into a frozen wasteland. Life would collapse, and humans, well, we'd have to fight against impossible odds to survive. So could we make it? Or would this be the beginning of the end? Let's find out. The first 8 minutes. Imagine this. One moment, the sun is shining, warming your skin, lighting up the sky, and then poof, it vanishes, just gone. No explosion, no warning. But here's the weird part, nothing changes. For 8 minutes and 20 seconds, Earth keeps spinning, birds keep flying, and the internet still works. Why? Because the sun's light and gravitational pull take time to reach us, exactly 8 minutes and 20 seconds at the speed of light. So, for that brief window, everything appears normal. The sun still looks like it's right there in the sky, but then, everything changes. Suddenly the world plunges into total darkness. No sunset, no twilight, just instant, all-consuming blackness. The sky, a gaping void, even the moon disappears because, guess what? It only shines by reflecting sunlight. And then gravity lets go. Earth has been locked in a gravitational dance with the sun for 4.5 billion years, but now, the music stops. No more central force holding us in orbit. We don't feel it, but at this exact moment our planet stops curving around the sun and shoots off into space, like a car suddenly skidding off a racetrack. But there's no panic, no alarms, no immediate disasters. For now, the only thing people notice is the pitch-black darkness, a night with no dawn. And in this eerie, unnatural silence, one terrifying thought starts creeping in. Something is very wrong. Earth breaks free. Imagine floating in space, untethered, weightless, completely free. Sounds peaceful, right? Now imagine Earth doing the same thing. But at 67,000 miles per hour. The moment the sun disappears, so does its gravitational pull. For over 4.5 billion years, the sun has held Earth in its invisible grip, keeping us locked in orbit like a cosmic leash. But now, that leash just snaps. At first, nothing feels different. You don't feel the planet moving, just like you don't feel it speeding through space right now. But make no mistake, Earth is now a runaway spaceship, no longer bound to its familiar orbit. Where do we go? Straight ahead. For billions of years we've been following a curved path around the sun, but with no sun pulling us in, we stop curving. Instead we shoot off in a straight line, hurtling into the void. Imagine spinning a ball on a string, then suddenly cutting the string. That's us now. A lonely frozen marble drifting deeper into space. The moon? It sticks with us, for now. Since Earth's gravity still exists, the moon keeps orbiting like nothing happened. But over time, without the sun stabilizing things, the moon's orbit could become chaotic. It might spiral closer, or drift away forever. And here's where it gets terrifying. As Earth speeds into the abyss, we leave behind something irreplaceable. The one thing that has always been our anchor. The solar system, our home, fades behind us. We are no longer part of it. We are alone. Instant darkness. Imagine flipping a switch and turning off the sun. 1 second it's bright and warm, the next? Total, absolute darkness. No sunset, no gradual dimming, just an instant void, swallowing the sky whole. The moon? Gone. It only shines because it reflects sunlight, so now it's just a dead, invisible rock drifting through space. The blue sky? It vanishes too. Without sunlight scattering through the atmosphere, our world is suddenly cloaked in an eerie, star-speckled blackness, even during what should have been midday. But here's the weird part, not everything goes dark immediately. For a few hours the outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, will still glow faintly. Why? Because they were far enough away that the last rays of sunlight are still traveling toward them. It's like watching fireworks. After the explosion, you still see the light for a moment before it fades. And then there's Earth itself. Cities? They still glow with artificial lights, street lamps, neon signs, flickering TVs. But out in nature, everything feels unnatural. Even if you light a fire, it doesn't feel the same. Shadows don't stretch the way they used to. There's no golden warmth, no dawn on the horizon, and the stars, they look different. With no sun overpowering them, the night sky is now insanely bright. You'd see distant galaxies, nebulae, maybe even planets from other solar systems. A beautiful sight if it weren't for the chilling realization that this is it. This is forever. Earth becomes a giant freezer. Darkness is one thing. Cold? That's a whole different nightmare. Without the sun's warmth, Earth becomes a dying ember in space. The heat we once took for granted now slipping away, second by second. The first day? Not too bad. The temperature drops, but thanks to our atmosphere trapping some heat, it's still survivable. Maybe you grab an extra blanket, turn up the heater and think, this isn't so bad. But by the end of the first week, you step outside and feel a deathly chill, colder than the coldest Antarctic winter. The average global temperature has plunged to around -73 degrees Celsius, or -100 degrees Fahrenheit. The air bites. Your breath turns to frost the moment it leaves your mouth. Rivers freeze, lakes turn to solid ice. And the ocean? It's starting to freeze too. At first, only the surface forms a thick, glassy layer of ice. But below, the water remains liquid, for now. The deep ocean holds onto heat like a massive thermal battery, buying time before the inevitable. But time is running out. Within a year, the entire planet is a frozen wasteland. The surface temperature drops to -200 degrees Celsius, so cold that even the air itself begins to change. Oxygen and nitrogen start to liquefy, coating the ground in a thin, eerie layer of frozen gas. The sky? Empty, silent, lifeless. Earth is no longer a home, it's a drifting ice ball tumbling deeper into the void, and unless we find a way to escape, we're going down with it. The end of life. Life is resilient, but without the sun, it's on a ticking clock. Within days, plants start dying. No sunlight means no photosynthesis, the process that keeps them alive. First, the leaves wither, then, the forests go silent. No buzzing insects, no rustling leaves, just stillness. A world that was once alive is now starving. Within weeks, the food chain collapses. Herbivores, deer, rabbits, even insects begin dying off. Predators hold out a little longer, scavenging whatever's left. But with every meal they're simply delaying the inevitable. Soon there's nothing left to hunt. Humans? We're resourceful, but this isn't just a food crisis. It's a fight against the cold. Even with stockpiled supplies, even in heated shelters, every breath outside freezes in your lungs. Cities turn into ghost towns, buried under layers of ice. Electricity grids fail, and slowly, one by one, fires burn out. But here's where things get strange. Not everything dies. Deep below Earth's surface, some life doesn't even notice the sun is gone. Creatures in hydrothermal vents, blind shrimp, bacteria, and deep-sea worms thrive in the scalding heat from the Earth's core. They don't need sunlight, they never did. Microbes living in deep caves trapped under glaciers or buried beneath the ocean floor, they could survive for centuries, maybe even longer. Earth's surface may be frozen solid, but underground, life still clings on. The real question is, how long can we? Could humans survive? Humans are survivors. We've conquered ice ages, deserts, and disasters. But could we survive the death of the sun? At first, yes. Governments would declare emergencies and people would retreat indoors using backup power, stockpiled food, and whatever warmth they could find. Underground bunkers, nuclear power plants, and geothermal energy sources would become humanity's last hope. But let's be real, this is just buying time. The biggest problem? Food. Without sunlight, crops die. Livestock starves. Canned goods and frozen food last for months, maybe years, but eventually supplies run out. Hydroponic farms and lab-grown meat could keep some people alive, but only for so long. A long-term food source? That's a problem no one can solve. Then there's the cold. Even with heating, temperatures outside drop below survivable levels. Oceans freeze, air becomes too thin to breathe, and every step outside is a death sentence. Cities crumble under the weight of ice. Power plants fail, and nuclear reactors eventually shut down. Maybe a few thousand people survive in deep underground shelters, heated by the Earth's core. Maybe they last centuries, using technology, rationing supplies, and clinging to life, but at some point, Earth will be too cold, too airless, too dead to sustain us. The only real hope? Leaving. But with no sun, space travel is nearly impossible. No gravity assist, no energy source, no safe destination. Earth was always our home, but without the sun, it's just our tomb. So what do you think? Could humanity survive without the sun, or would Earth become a lifeless, frozen rock drifting through space? One thing's for sure, we owe everything to our star. If you enjoyed this mind-bending scenario, Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to InnoVision Tech for more fascinating science and technology explorations. Got a wild what-if question? Drop it in the comments, we might cover it next. Until then, stay curious, stay innovative, and keep exploring the unknown.